Fallout 76 is a completely different game in 2025 compared to what it was when it released in 2018. The game is so much better and it has a very bright future, especially with the second season of the TV show coming in December of 2025. And around that same time, Fallout 76 will be getting its largest update ever, which may involve some of the events from the second season. But with this huge surge in popularity for the Fallout franchise, many new and veteran players are coming back to Fallout 76. So in this video, I want to go over everything that you need to know to smoothly get back into the game or start playing for the very first time. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of the Fallout franchise and want to find other people to play Fallout 76 with, or ask questions about the game, or just discuss anything related to any of the Fallout games and the TV show, feel free to click the link in the pinned comment to join my Fallout Discord server. And also subscribe to this channel to see more videos just like this one. So let's get into it and start off with the first thing that you'll be doing when you start Fallout 76, and that is leaving Vault 76. If you have played Fallout 76 before, you will be able to load into your old character and jump right back into where you left off. But if you're new or if you want a fresh start, you will start off in the Vault. Now there isn't really anything that you can miss in the vault, just make your character, then make your way out of the vault and collect everything in the little vault tech checkpoints along the way. And visit the Overseer's office and grab the holotape from the Overseer's terminal to start the main story of the game. But when you leave the vault, you will be given a new choice, and that is to start at level 1 and work your way up from there, or you can choose to boost to level 20 instantly, pick a starting class, and skip to the main part of the storyline for free, or you can use real money or atoms to boost to level 50. Now what you choose to do here will be entirely up to you. I don't think there's any issue with using the free boost to level 20 to get some free gear and to get to a better starting point in the game. The level 50 boost will get you better starting gear and it will put you at the same starting point in the main storyline as the level 20 boost, and it will make sure that you get the best possible versions of the gear that you find as you play, which we will talk about later, but it will cost real money. Personally, if I was a new player, I would choose that free level 20 boost just to have a smoother start. And when choosing a class for that level 20 boost, I would have to go with the shotgunner class, as the build that you start with will be pretty strong and it will help you level up a lot faster. Shotguns are also pretty strong in Fallout 76. But after choosing to either boost a character or start at level 1, you will have to make another choice, which I feel is a much more important choice. And that is to either start playing through the main quest lines of the game, including the main quest line, or work on leveling up to get to level 50. The reason level 50 is so important is that because at level 50, you will always receive the highest level version of the weapons and gear that you will find. For an example of how this works, if you are level 1 and complete a quest that rewards a unique or legendary weapon, you will get the level 1 or level 5 version of that weapon, which will have stats on it that would be fit for a level 1 to 5 player. It could be a really good weapon, but you will be getting a nerfed version of it that you won't want to use at level 50. And usually you won't be able to go back and get another version of that weapon. But if you did that same quest at level 50, you would get the level 50 version of that weapon, which will be the strongest possible version of it. Although some weapons are capped at level 45. Now don't get me wrong, you don't need to wait until level 50 to start doing quests in Fallout 76, because there will be a lot of legendary items in the game that you can get multiple versions of at different levels. But there are still a decent amount of unique items like weapons that you can only get once. So I felt like I should let you know about this to help you decide what to do to fit better with how you want to play the game. And you could also do a mix of questing and leveling at the same time. So if you want to dive right into playing through the storylines of the game, talk to Pennington outside of the vault to start the Wayward Souls questline, which will progress into the main story questline, then you can go from there. It's a very simple questline to follow, and you will come across a ton of side quests along the way. But if you want to focus on leveling first, there is a great method that anyone can do very quickly. To do this leveling method, all you will need is a weapon and some ammo for it. Then go to the West Tech Research Center, which will be right here on your map. If you haven't been here yet, which you more than likely haven't been if you're on a fresh character, you will need to either walk there on foot, or if another player has a camp near that location, you can fast travel to that, then walk the rest of the way. But here at the West Tech Research Center, you will find a lot of super mutant enemies that will give you a lot of experience when you kill them. So you will need to hang out in that area and just farm them for some fast experience. They will also commonly drop ammo, food, meds, and gear, which will help you stay in that area longer. But every 20 minutes you will get a notification on your screen that an event has started. Once you see that, you will need to open up your map, then click on the event notification at the bottom left of your screen, and then click Join Event. This will fast travel you to that event, which is the second half of the leveling method. And when you get to the event, open your map again and look for a player at the event with a blue icon around their map ping. Then you can click on them and click the Join Public Team option. This won't happen at every event, but if you can get into a public team, you will get experience for every enemy that your team kills, you will also get a small experience boost, and there will be a chance that your teammates could use items like lunchboxes that will give you an even greater experience boost. Most events in Fallout 76 involve killing a lot of enemies, but you don't need to personally kill that enemy to get experience for the kill. You will only need to tag that enemy, which means you will need to shoot them or hit them at least one time to get credit for the kill. That's why shotguns are great for leveling, because you can run around and hip fire at enemies to tag them, then let the rest of the players at the event finish them off, which will result in you getting a lot of experience. And you will get even more experience at the end of the event, along with some rewards including legendary items. Then after the event is over, you can fast travel back to the West Tech Research Center and go back to killing super mutants until the next event starts. Public events are a really good way to level up and get new items and resources, so even if you chose to focus on questing, you should still pop into as many events as you can. By this point, you have probably leveled up a few times, so you can open up your inventory and click on the Level Up button at the bottom of your screen. Leveling up and applying your special stats and perks will be pretty different in Fallout 76. Firstly, you can go above 10 in the special stats, which you can't do in other Fallout games. And secondly, you won't pick perks in the same way you would in a game like Fallout 4. Instead, when you level up, you will receive perk card packs, which will be bundles of randomized perks that you can slot into your special stats to create larger builds. Every perk card will have a value. That value is the required amount of special stats that you will need to use that card. For example, the Scattershot perk card has a value of 2, which means you will need at least 2 available points in strength to use that card. But other cards can cost more, especially if you upgrade the card to a higher rank by combining 2 of the same card together. It will be kind of tricky to manage all of these cards at first, but thankfully it's cheap and easy to swap cards and builds out, using the punch card station found at most central hubs or at your base or other players' bases. As a new or returning player, there will be 3 locations that I think you need to know about. These will be locations that you frequently visit as you play the game and collect items and gear, and start to improve your gear and character. First is the White Springs Resort, located right here on your map. To be honest, you should probably unlock this location as a fast travel point as soon as you start the game. The White Spring Resort will have 2 floors. The top floor will be for the Responders faction, which we will talk more about in a moment, but the bottom floor will be the White Springs Mall. The mall will be full of vendors selling different things like new weapons, armor, ammo, meds, food, and more. But the best shop here is the Artisan's Corner. This shop will have pretty much every crafting station that you will need, including a stash box and a perk punch card station. Meaning during the early levels of the game, you can use this area as a free base to do all of your crafting and store your items and change your builds, without having to find an area to build your first base and spending the resources to build it all. You can also scrap all of your unwanted junk items here to get the raw crafting materials, then deposit them into your stash box to use them later. But like I mentioned, the top floor of the resort is for the Responders faction, which will be an important faction if you plan to do expeditions, which are dungeon-like activities similar to strikes in Destiny. To unlock expeditions, go up the stairs at the entrance of the White Springs, then talk to Orlando, then offer to help the Responders. This will start a small questline where you will have to help 3 Responders in the resort to unlock access to the Vertibird that will take you on those expeditions. The next location that I think you need to know about is the Rusty Pick location right here on your map. Now, as you play Fallout 76, you will acquire a lot of legendary items, and a lot of them will be legendaries that won't fit your build or your playstyle, or they will just have bad perks on them. So instead of scrapping those or throwing them away, bring them to the Rusty Pick. In this building, you will find a legendary exchange machine. This machine will let you turn your unwanted legendary items into legendary scrip. Then you can take those to the vendor near the door of the Rusty Pick and use that scrip to buy legendary loot boxes. When you buy one of these boxes, they will instantly open and you will get one random legendary item from the category that you purchase. So you can pick between ranged weapons, armor, power armor, and melee weapons. This will let you turn your unwanted legendaries into possibly a legendary that you want, or you can take that new legendary back to the exchange machine and get more script to try again. But I think you can only get 500 legendary script per day or per week. And the final location is the Fisherman's Rest, which will be right here on your map. This is where you will need to go to start the fishing questline, which is the newest feature in Fallout 76. The fishing feature will allow you to fish into any body of water to collect fish. Then you can take those fish and turn them into fish bits to feed to Linda Lee at the Fisherman's Rest to get legendary rewards. In my opinion, fishing in Fallout 76 is a lot of fun, and there's a lot to do throughout the questline for it, so if you are new or if you haven't played in a while, you should definitely swing by the Fisherman's Rest and check it out. It also just adds something new to do as you're out in the world doing events and quests. Next, I want to talk about your camp. The camp building isn't that hard to understand or do. You will just need to explore the map and look for a place that you want to start building. Then open your inventory and press the Move Camp button at the bottom left. Then you can place your camp wherever you would like to claim the land around it. But just so you know, you won't be able to do this in points of interest like towns, and you can move to different camp locations whenever you want. Once your camp is placed, you can interact with the camp to start building. Now at first, your camp will not look good. That's just how it will go. You won't have much unlocked to really decorate, and you may even be missing some crafting stations. But just build what you can for now and then add on to it as you go. To unlock new building pieces for your camp, you will need to visit vendors like the ones in the White Spring Mall and buy the plans that they are selling for caps. Then you can read those plans in your inventory to learn them and be able to build new structures at your camp. Or you can spend atoms or real money on camp items in the in-game shop. Public events can also give you unique and rare building plans. But again, at first, just build what you can and treat it like a project that you'll be working on during your time in Fallout 76. The most important things to build first at your camp are all of the crafting stations, a stash box, and the vendor station. The vendor station will put your camp on the map as a vendor. Then you can put your items up for sale so other players can come by and buy them. I have made a lot of caps from doing this, so you really want to have a vendor station at your base and try to sell all of the things that you don't need. And it will also work the other way around, so you can take your caps to other players' bases and buy the things that they are selling that you may need, including rare building plans to help you build a better camp for yourself. Crafting is another major part of Fallout 76. You will use crafting to make new weapons and armor, mod your weapons and armor, work on your power armor, craft and improve your backpack to carry more items, make food to give you bonuses, and so much more. At first, even I was confused about how crafting worked, as it is a little confusing. First, you have to understand the resources in the game and how to get them. Pretty much every resource will come from the junk items that are scattered around the map, or they will come from the enemies that you kill. They aren't too hard to find and you can carry a lot of them, but finding the resources that you need can be tricky. The first way to find the resources that you need will be from workshops. These will be all over the map, and to use them you will need to go to one and clear out the enemies that will be there. And then you can open your map and hover over the workshop to see the materials that the workshop will produce. And if the workshop has what you need, you can invest some caps into claiming the workshop. Then you can build extractors at the workshop to harvest those materials. Most workshops will have crafting benches at them, or you can build the stations that you need. Then you can run around and collect the items at the workshop and scrap them to get even more materials. But as a side note, if you claim a workshop, you will get a notification every now and then that your workshop is under attack. Then you will have to go back to the workshop and defend it. Workshops will be very similar to settlements in Fallout 4. But once you have collected some junk items from any location in the game or from workshops, you will then need to bring them to any crafting bench. Then when you're looking at the crafting bench, you will need to hit the scrap button. This will open up a list of all the junk items that you're carrying, then you can scrap them to get the materials. When hovering over a junk item in this menu, you will see the materials that you will get from scrapping that item in the middle of your screen. For example, this broken camera. At first it might look like just some boring item on the ground that you can't use, but when you bring it to a crafting bench you will see that you can turn that camera into gears, springs, and crystals, which will help you craft or modify your gear. So you really want to collect literally as much junk as you can and then scrap it to be able to craft better gear. But all of those materials can get pretty heavy and weigh you down, so put all of those raw materials into your stash box. When it comes to actually crafting armor and weapons, you of course will need the plans for the item that you want to craft. Obtaining those plans will be just like obtaining plans for your camp decorations. You will get them from exploring, vendors at player hubs, the vendor machines at other players' bases, and they can be rewards for completing endgame activities and events. But once you have a weapon or armor plan, you can learn it to make that piece of gear. But to get mods for that piece of gear, you will need to scrap that exact weapon or piece of armor. An example of this is the hunting rifle. You can easily get the plans for the hunting rifle from vendors at the White Springs Mall. Then you will need to make a ton of basic hunting rifles, then scrap them to learn how to make mods for the hunting rifles. If a hunting rifle that you have has a mod already on it and you scrap it, you will have a higher chance of learning that mod. Then you can use those mods to make a hunting rifle with the mods on it that you want, and then use legendary modules to add legendary effects to the weapon. And by the way, legendaries will have 1 to 5 stars on them. Each star is an additional perk that the legendary will have. For example, a 1-star legendary will have 1 legendary perk on it, while a 5-star legendary will have 5 perks on it. But then you just repeat this process to unlock mods for the weapons that you want to use. That's why I suggest picking up the weapons from the enemies that you kill so that you can scrap them to learn the mods for that weapon, in case you end up wanting to use that specific weapon in the future, or make stronger versions of it to give out to your friends or to new players. But this method of crafting weapons then scrapping them to learn mods will be how you learn mods for every weapon and piece of armor in the game. So at this point we have gone over a lot. We have talked about leaving the vault, starting from level 1 or using a level boost to get to level 20 or level 50, whether to follow the main story or focus on leveling up to level 50, unique weapons and armor, the best way to level up quickly, leveling and perks, locations that you need to know about as a new player, camps, and crafting. But by now you may be wondering, what am I doing all of this for? So let's go over the endgame activities of Fallout 76 so you can see what you're working towards. The first big endgame activity is the new Gleaming Depths raid. I say new, but it came out a little while ago, but it's still a major part of the game, and there will be more raids coming to the game soon. Raids are challenging 4-player activities that require good gear and builds, and you will probably need to be at least level 100 to do them. But they will give you the best gear in the game, which are 4-star legendaries that you can use legendary modules on to turn into 5-star legendaries. But because you can get the best gear from these raids, expect them to be very challenging and require a team. Daily ops are another form of endgame content. Every day a new daily op will become available. These will be very fast-paced missions that you will complete to earn rewards. The faster you complete them, the better rewards that you will get. If you complete the daily op in under 8 minutes, you will get the best possible rewards, but it can be hard to do, so you may need a team. Enemies in daily ops also give you a lot of ammo, so even if you get all of the rewards possible for the daily op for the day, you can go back and keep farming it for ammo and materials as much as you want. Expeditions are the third form of endgame content. These are like longer versions of daily ops. You will load into these expeditions and you will be given an objective that you will need to complete without a time limit, and you will have the freedom to explore the area to collect anything you may want. Then at the end of the expedition, you will get gear and items as a reward, along with a new currency called stamps, which you can spend at vendors in the White Springs Mall to buy rare crafting plans and powerful gear. You can also bring up to 3 friends with you to make farming for stamps easier. We already talked about events, but events are the fourth form of endgame content. Events are always happening and seasonal events will also pop up. At the time of making this video, we have the Foshnot seasonal event in the game, which brings in some unique masks and gear for players to collect and trade. But events are like the pre-endgame activity to do to start getting better gear and leveling up to tackle the harder challenges in the game, and collect some unique legendary items along the way. It doesn't matter if you're level 1 or level 100. Events are always a good thing to participate in, and after completing the main storyline of the game, you will unlock access to even more events. Next are seasons and challenges. These are pretty basic and they are something you can keep working on as you play through the game. Challenges will be split into daily, weekly, and account. Account challenges take a lot longer to complete and require you to do things across every inch of the game, for different rewards like perk cards and atoms which you can spend in the in-game shop. Weekly and daily challenges will be easier to complete and give you score points, which level up your season pass. And on the season pass you can buy cosmetic items like skins and camp decorations, similarly to a battle pass in games like Fortnite. And finally we have nuke zones. The main storyline of Fallout 76 will take you through the process of launching your own nukes across the map. Where that nuke lands will turn the area into a high-level endgame area where enemies will be much harder to deal with, but you will also get better items and materials from them. And nuke-themed endgame activities will happen within the nuke zones, making them a good activity to participate in to get closer to the endgame. But honestly, the endgame of Fallout 76 is really whatever you want it to be. Some people like to go out and explore, others mainly focus on building the best camps possible, and others push hard into the endgame and create powerful builds to speedrun through expeditions and raids. It's all just up to you and what you feel like doing. There is a lot to do in Fallout 76. It's a much better game in 2025 than it was when it released in 2018, and if you're a Fallout fan, I'm sure you'll love the time that you spend playing it. But I hope this video helps you get started in Fallout 76.